but released. Now, these people you eventually caught, why not try them and let's know whether these people should either be jailed or freed? I want to believe that some of our leaders in this country, they owe our citizens, they owe Nigerians apology, not just coming and winning an election by all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for joining the discourse. Let me take you into this. If you checked my pages on social media, Twitter, you will find a story about the bombing of Kuje prison in Abuja. And I said here, if a report by the Vanguard newspaper is anything to go by, soldiers deployed around Kuje prison who had mastered the terrain were replaced 24 hours before the terrorists invaded the prison. Why was it 24 hours after troop redeployment that the terrorists are their internal collaborators undermining the system? Remember this, Malam Tukom Mamu, media consultant to Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, says before the attack, he shared intelligence reports with the authorities concerned, but they failed to act. You know, Buhari was lamenting recently. When Buhari laments, the people suffer. When Buhari visits Kuje prison, Nigeria suffers. When Tinubu goes to France, the people grow hungry. Hungry people everywhere. Hungry people in the south, in the north, southeast hungry people. Northwest hungry people. Let nobody deceive you with ethnic politics this time. When they are striking these, they don't remember ethnic politics. When they are lounging in Turkey, in France, they don't remember ethnic politics. When it comes to voting, they remember that you are Yoruba, Igbo, and Fulani. Don't allow that this time. Vote your conscience this time. If you miss it this time, the people will suffer again. And this suffering will lead to something if you don't know. You know, I'm asking Wike there, Wike here. What does Wike want? Why is everyone asking Wike's hand in marriage? Let's look at this and perhaps make some definitions from them. Atiku did not pick Wike as his running mate. Atiku says Okowa personifies not only the seriousness the current moment represents for Nigeria, but also the future that young Nigerians yearn for and deserve. So Wike does not fit into that definition. Is that a point Atiku makes? A point Atiku makes is that he knows that sometimes a candidate is chosen who generates a buzz and adds huge excitement to the campaign. But in Nigeria of the moment, Atiku Abubakar says we face huge challenges that leave us with little room for drama. Was it that he finds Wike too dramatic for the serious task of nation building? Now, this is Wike in church. Wike in church exhibits the Wike drama. In church, Nyesom Wike calls on thunder to act. What kind of Wike is this?
Now that takes us to also where some people say we are join Youth Congress, we are join National Congress, threatening government. You are wasting your time. I don't know why people don't even know who they are dealing with. Me, threatening me, 48 hours. Instead of you to come to government, what is the problem? What happened? Into threatening government, ultimatum. Thunder fire you and ultimatum.
He did not call on God for help. He called on thunder inside the church. Wike, from his utterances, sees every disappointment as betrayal. Listen to him keenly. Everybody betrays Wike. Atiku has betrayed him now. When Wike lost the ticket to Atiku, he returned to Rivers State and shouted, "Betrayal! Betrayal! I have been betrayed. I refuse to be a second-class citizen." Who are the first-class citizen Wike referred to in that speech? Perhaps he was talking about Atiku and Tambuwa alliance. Therefore, he was talking about the Fulani, that he refused to play a second fiddle. I agree with him. Nobody should be a second-class citizen. Edmund Obilo cannot be. That's not the issue now. When Wike lost that ticket, he said fellow southern governors betrayed him. You know, take note of a man that everybody betrays. There must be something with him. When everybody betrays a particular man, there is something. Will Sheyi Makinde betray Wike? I will answer that question. I quote Wike, "Shame to those who will sell their own." I have never seen a thing like that. No wonder we cannot move on with development. Southern governors sold their own. So is Wike saying those from the north are not part of us? You see the rhetoric display. Their own. Those from the south, their own. Those from the north, their own. We must stop that politics if we want to build one Nigeria. See, there's something I like about the PDP politics that threw up Atiku Abubakar. Perhaps it was able to break this ethnic definition. Let's play the politics. You win, I win. Remember, the radio man does not stand for ethnic politics. Muslim ticket does not bother me. If it bothers you, scream, shout, and use your PVC and make the noise. Wike continues, look, a region ganged up, a region ganged up. Your own region cannot gang up. You become a tool to be used against the interest of your people, and you think you have won? Who was Wike talking about? Who are these southern governors and the PDP that betrayed him? Perhaps Okowa is one of them. He says, no, you have lost. From that statement, it was clear that Wike was going to fight back. Wike is the betrayed man of the century. Why is he always betrayed? Why? What is in Wike's character that exposes him to betrayal? Wike fights aggressively and reaps bitterly. Why? It must be connected to his character, utterances, and methods. There is that trait of some level of mischievousness that attracts its consequences to those who are betrayed. Remember, that's not to say that good people are not betrayed. But to every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Has Wike mastered his emotions? Does Wike set his brain running before his mouth, or his mouth before his brain? Hello, Nyesom Wike. Mr. Governor, are you listening to me? Was Wike thrown to a position he has no intelligence to manage? Is Wike the kind of president Nigeria deserves? When Wike sets out to intervene in others' problems, what does he expect as compensation? Is it servitude? I mean total obedience to his whims and caprices? Wike supported Godwin Obaseki of Edo State when his position as governor was threatened by a cabal led by Adams Oshomole in collaboration with Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Lagos State. Obaseki was denied a second-term ticket on the platform of APC. The then owner of PDP intervened and gave Obaseki a PDP ticket, and Obaseki coasted to victory. Obaseki traveled to Port Harcourt to praise Wike for his magnanimity. Obaseki speaks highly of him and worshipped in his political shrine. Let's listen to Obaseki saying thank you to Wike.
This house, this venue, was where it all happened. I can't forget that after I was pushed out of my former party, the first place I came to seek solace, to seek support, was in this very, very house. You received me like a brother who had been drenched out there in the storm, home. You took me in, changed my clothes, and gave me food to eat. Even though after a while you started grumbling that I was coming here too often to eat your food. But for me, it's just, I can't tell you, my people, what went through in this house. There was one night we were here and finished our meetings at 6:45 a.m. in the morning. We came out and it was daylight. This is where the campaign council met to plan all the key strategies that led us to victory. I can go on and on and on. This house brings very, very pleasant and remarkable memories. As if that was not enough, you mobilized everything. You mobilized all our colleagues across the country. You moved and made Benin a base. From the very, very first event of the flag off of the campaign, you were there. You went through the humiliations we all suffered, being attacked, innocently. I know the amount of attack on you across the opposition media in the country. During the elections, you moved base back to Benin. Despite threats, you stayed put. And like a lion, you supported us. We fought and we devoured the enemy. With all of this, with all of these experiences we have gone through, it will be a sin against God if we didn't come out immediately after we received victory to come and say thank you to you. I know the person, you say, no, it's not important, we've done it, let's move on. That is your natural reaction. But we are Edo people. We are very cultural. And we are very respectful to culture and etiquette. So we're here this afternoon, like I said, to just say thank you. We will say, and after that, we will go back.
Obaseki went to say Uwese's thank you in Benin. Domo to Wike. So what was Wike expecting in return? How did he fall out with Obaseki? Remember, it's about politics and power, and Wike is on my table this morning. That is why the program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. The radio man Edmund Obilo is here, driving the show, taking you to politics. politics as terrorism. Wike in politics. Haven't listened to Obaseki. What do we say? No sooner had Obaseki assumed his seat as second-term governor than he fell out with Wike. Wike was accused of micromanaging the PDP in Edo State against the interest of Obaseki. Obaseki felt slighted that a fellow governor was dictating the tune in his state and wanted Wike to soft pedal. Wike went to town and seemed betrayal.
DNA of Gordon Obaseki. What we see in that DNA is betrayal, serial betrayal, and ungratefulness. The DNA of Obaseki is what? Betrayal, serial betrayal, and ungratefulness. Let me stand today to apologize to Adam Soshimole, who has been vindicated by telling us that we will see the true color, we will see the insincerity, we will see the ungratefulness of Governor Obaseki. So let me apologize to Adam Soshimole. Say you have been vindicated. You're right. We were wrong. I've never seen people who are so ungrateful in life. I've never seen people who can betray everything in life, never speak the truth. I will never betray any man. Ask Governor Obaseki, has he done anything for PDP? Has he voted for PDP? The only election he voted was his own election when we gave him umbrella. So who has more stake in PDP? I have more stake. Because I have supported PDP always. You have never supported PDP. Rather, it was when your godfather chased you away and you came begging, kneeling down. People came with pressure and we allowed you. Ordinarily, you're a tenant. Ordinarily.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live. Wike is the landlord. He doesn't want his tenants to have any role. And when the tenant speaks up, the landlord says, I give you quit notice. He screams betrayal. Is he still the landlord of PDP? Has Atiku taken the party from him? Or they are about to tear the party apart? I don't mind. Let them tear the party apart. Fight. Tear the PDP down, Wike. That's a party that has inflicted poverty on the Nigerian people over the years. They should tear it down. APC, tear down that party. When political parties inflict poverty on the people, they deserve to be torn down. But they will not tear it down. They have a way of settling their crisis. They will sit down and strike deals. And you see them smiling. You see them smiling. You see them bugaing. You know, they buga, no job, university students are at home, inflation, high food prices, unemployment at its highest level, the worst form of insecurity at the moment, but you still see politicians bugaing. As they buga, get ready to buga them come 2023. If you miss this time, and let me warn Peter Obi, if he thinks this contest will be easy, he will be joking. And let me warn Peter Obi that if he does not speak well, if he does not highlight clearly what he wants to do for the Nigerian people, he will be up against the radio man. It is time to scrutinize every candidate. Open them up. And I'm watching Peter Obi closely. All my eyes are on him. He goes to bed, I follow him. He's one man I'm looking at closely. Is Peter Obi the option? The ball is in your court to answer. Obaseki is a serial betrayal. In the game of power, there are tyrants appearing as democrats. The Nigerian political space is littered with such behavior. When tyrants govern, the people get poorer and the state becomes prone to excessive violence. The government of tyrants cannot be democracy. Democracy brings life, abundance, and peace. When it is otherwise, it means the system is in the hands of tyrants reckless in management of state resources. Back to Wike. Wike promised to smoke Obaseki and co and his co-travelers out in the PDP. I will smoke you out. He used that statement. Did he smoke them out or they smoked him out? Where the governors that worked against his victory at the convention stand, is Wike standing there? Now, I want you to hear Wike sound like the owner of the word. Is Wike the owner of the word? Wike tells young persons in Rivers State that we will kill you. Nyesom Wike, we will kill you. What kind of governor is this? He must be a powerful governor. He owns the word.
Did they not go down? Did they go down? So, when people say, IPOP, they are carrying juju, no problem. That's what you say. But what's happening? Are they not dying? So let nobody deceive you that juju. Don't ever you. So now, take today, all of you criminals who are here, all of you criminals who are here, take today, 2nd of June 2021, and repent. If you don't repent, the period has come. You will die, your parents will not bury you, we will bury you like vulture. Either your hand will be cut off, or they will blow your head off. Your parents will not even know that you are dead. They will say, oh, their son went to look for money. Which money? The man is gone. And you know, will not tell your parents that you are gone. Who tell them? Because an armed robber has no business for us to say he has parents. No. No armed robber has parents. No armed robber. So nobody should, because of what you are doing now, challenging people, destroying people, killing them. You go to Yubogo, you go here, you go to the water, bunkering, killing people, and you think you will go free. You will never go free. So, all of you looking at me as if you are my supporter, carry your supporter and go.
The young persons Wike wants to kill, who produced them? Who are the politicians that sponsored young persons to become militants in the Niger Delta? Who are the politicians that employed young persons as louts and unleashed them on their opponents? Now that the young persons have their own guns, they want to create their own territory, and Wike wants them out. I condemn every form of criminality. The criminality of leadership, I condemn it. The criminality of the young boy on the street is condemned. But remember, let me warn the governors. He that comes to equity must come with clean hands. The reason you have unprecedented violence in Nigeria is because the leadership does not come with clean hands. They are involved. Then when it comes out, hey, we will kill you, we will do that. Look at their actions. Look at those that hang out with them. Look at the talks they move about with. That is why we cannot address crime. That is why the policeman will stand and somebody will be paying a voter and the policeman is standing. Because the political class, the leadership is involved. So there's little the policeman can do. You see a policeman is standing there. Somebody is with a bag of money, paying the voter. And you're asking police, arrest this man. He can't because the leadership is involved. Oh, terrorists. Terrorists everywhere. Repent, O governors. Obasanjo defined them. That's not to say Obasanjo was not an emperor, but he defines governors as emperors.
It is indeed proper for us in Nigeria to ask the question, is the government working? Is government positioned to deal with challenges arising from these new developments? Is there governance, good governance in the 36 states of the Federation, where some governors have become sole administrators, acting like emperors? These governors have rendered public institutions irrelevant and useless. Is there development work going on in the 774 constitutionally recognized local government councils, which are known to have been appropriated as private estates of some governors? And of course, when governors take their money, the chairman of councils take the balance of the money and put it on the table and share it out among the council members in some local governments. Have the governors not hijacked the resources of local government and expended them to serve their whims and caprices instead of using the resources to galvanize growth and development? Have we embraced the principles and values of the presidential system such that they enable us to realize our vision of a great country instead of the waste that we experience?
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
You see, governors are emperors. They intimidate House of Assembly members. They intimidate local government chairmen. They hijack the political structures of their party. They determine everything. Once the governor is not on seat, governor perishes until he comes back from wherever he went to. They are totally in charge. This democracy is pretentious. It is not really democratic. Democracy brings progress, abundance. Democracy, it lifts people out of poverty. When governance puts people in poverty and violence, it is not democracy. It is fake democracy. When somebody says, okay, I have stockpiled billions of naira and you use it to buy vote, it is not democracy. Because you do that, that money is not going into production. Most of the wealth of Nigeria does not go into production. They just share it. That is why you see a Yahoo boy, immediately he hits money, he goes to buy a big car. He doesn't think of production. Everybody wants to show off. I was telling somebody, I'm going to buy Micra. I said, never. Edmund Obilo, you ride Micra? I was looking at, well, are you okay? Why can't I ride Micra? And I'm buying a Micra. What is the big deal? The car is just to move me from one spot to the other. Everybody wants to show off. The next moment you are broke. You make 10 million, you don't put it into production. Politicians steal money, they go to Dubai to buy houses. Houses that are, you don't live in the house. That is why Africa is poor. You go to London, you buy houses. And you go to London about 3 times in a year. Your people are poor. You go to Turkey to strategize. You have not paid salary and pension. I'm talking about Wike. In the game of politics of underdevelopment, leaders, call them tyrants, come with terrifying character that puts the subject under fear. They build fortresses for themselves from where they send out agents to spy on their subjects and ambitious opponents plotting to bring them down. You heard the guy in Oshun saying, hey, we have come with euro, dollar. Huh? You know. So to do what with the dollar now? To buy over the town. When he becomes governor, what will happen? What do you think will happen? And I see people hailing them, oh, dollar, dollar. A politician walks in here and he doesn't share money, you just say he will lose. This one has lost. He's not sharing money. And yet you come and complain to the radio man that your road is bad. You are on your own. So because he's not sharing money, he will not win. Peter Obi says he's not sharing shishin. Shishin. Peter Obi don't share any shishin. If they don't vote you, let them suffer. Don't share shishin. In fact, I'm going to have it as a hashtag now. No sharing of shishin. What is it? Let them come and do well so that you'll be able to make your own money. You'll not be running after anybody. You know when you run after people to give you money, you debase yourself. You lose your pride. So why do you run after people begging for money? I know situations are hard. The kind of country I dream of is where you will make your own money and you keep your pride. When the politician comes, you can even not look in the side and you keep moving because you can take care of yourself. You can take your children to the best schools. Do you know how I feel when somebody walks up to me that he can't pay his or her child's school fees? Do you know how I feel? I feel insulted whenever a policeman asks me for money. Because I feel pride. But you can see the way they are dressed. They don't have pride because we have impoverished them. When you impoverish a police officer and you give him AK-47, what do you think he will do? He will use the AK-47 to gain pride. You see FCC running after Yahoo boys? Fine, they are criminals, no doubt. But we must run after the bigger criminals. By the time we take care of the bigger criminals, the small criminals will hide. They won't attempt. When leadership sets bad example, the young ones follow. You see, terrible leaders see everything from the lenses of betrayal. They are those who dominate everything around them and continuously prey on everyone they suspect. They speak boastfully and carelessly and act as if without them the world would die. They take credit for the achievements of noble minds and want their names etched on every heart, interpreting fear as loyalty and taking correctional statements as betrayal. By their dominance and exuberance, they are more likely to be betrayed because the human spirit rise against treachery and would apply treachery as payback if need be. Does this define Wike, the betrayed man? Who will be the next betrayer of Wike? Is he the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde? Seyi Makinde tells the radio man that Wike is his man. Seyi Makinde supported Wike's presidential ambition and told me why Wike was his choice. But I will come back to that interview after this commercial break. The radio man is here. After this break, we will talk more about politics and power. We are streaming on Twitter. We are streaming. Are you following the radio man on LinkedIn? We are streaming. We are streaming on Splash FM Facebook page. Come to the page and join the radio man. Are you on Edmund Obilo's pages on Facebook? I know you can watch me. I'm watching you too. Watch me closely. I'm up to something. Do you know? I'll be back.
State Affair.
This is Aleshiloye Junction, Iyagokun, Ibadan. You drive down, you go to Cocoa House. You move in this direction, you are moving to 110. 110 leads to Challenge. You turn into this angle, you are moving towards Aleshiloye Market. It's such an important junction. Sadly, it's also a dangerous junction. At that end is a deep valley. If you miss your way, you plunge in. Those that plunge in hardly come out alive. It is a very dangerous junction. In the dangerous junction, too, the potholes we are talking about can also cause accident. The reason the potholes on the rail track, around the rail track, should be taken care of. How are you feeling this place? Why you they feel out?
Because many people they pass, they will enter this place, it's very problem.
So they spoil your motor?
Yeah, they spoil my motor. Even trailer, even car. So they spoil well.
So that used to make you feel out?
Yes. I make it help and make you feel make it everybody fast, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
You walk around here?
Yes, and they pass that place. They pass people where they follow Ala Albasa to walk. One enter, I they pass and enter. I be traffic Ala Albasa.
You can see this is a Nigerian that is concerned about the situation of Aleshiloye Junction in Yagokun. You can see the pothole. He is the one filling the pothole at this moment. We are calling on the Oyo State government to expedite action. Thank you very much.
Make it tell the government, make it can't do it because many cars spoil that place. Yes, make it government can't help them. So you make it, make it can't help on that place. Because many cars is very full in that place. Yeah. My name is Alhaji Hussein Mohammed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What happens to your petrol station?
Those bikes and the vehicles, they do pass inside the station, come outside, and they used to disturb us every time because of the queue, hold up, and the other things. So because of the hold up, our customer even don't have chance to stay to buy fuel again. So sometimes they just use it to do road. So that's just place. This thing block it here, so that to stop them for passing. So they do pass here sometimes when we block there. So that's.
So what are you saying government should do now?
We are just pleading to the government to come and help us to do this place, to fix it, to rectify the road for us, so that we can have the rest of mind.
ceiling fan tó dúró rẹ̀ àti standing fan tí ò lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ ẹ má wulẹ̀ dààmú jìnnà ẹ máa bọ̀ lólú iléeṣẹ́ wa tó wà ní nọ́mbà 4 olówó tí fowó sàánú shopping complex Ìwó road nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn àti ọlọ́nà filling station àkànfẹ́ amúlòkọ Ìbàdàn jákèjádò lẹ́nu.
From the 2018 figures of the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's unemployment rate is 23.1%. It is suspected that the yet-to-be-released 40%. The failure of the Bureau to release the 2019 quarterly reports on job creation and unemployment gives vent to this suspicion. As these ones engage in desperate measures, wonder why they are the casualties of leadership failure in Nigeria.
Government should provide job. There's nothing we want except that when you have job you do, you will have money to spend.
Because there's no job outside there. We don't have job. Many of us went to school and school went through us.
They are used by politicians for election purposes. Some of them are dumped when victory is won, left to continue their street activities. Some are in prison.
Ebi para gidi ẹ máa wo para mi ìdìbò ni ẹ máa wo para mi ẹ máa wo ìdìbò ni ó para mi rí ìdìbò lele yìí inú ìdìbò ni ẹ máa ya inú ìdìbò ni ẹ wo
when the time of elections comes, the politician will come over, they will come here, they will talk to these people, they will use them. After the election, they will not do anything for them. And now, you can see them circling around here. What are they doing? Smoking Indian herbs. And the teacher normally came here when it's time of election. They will promise people that they will do this and that. They promise many ladies here that they will open their shop for them. They promise them that they will give them money to establish their business. But immediately they get to the power, we don't see any traces of their promise.
Governor himself knows that people were smoking all around, but they will only make use of them. That was when they were in need of them. After making use of them with all the promises, and they won't fulfill.
There are smiling faces in Koronu. Mama Gold is one of them. She runs a bar on the street.
Mama Gold, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Yes, you sell here.
Yeah.
What do you sell?
The radio man has come. Wike is on my table. The politics of Wike. But you can't take it away from him. Wike has become a factor in Nigerian politics. That's me. But has the Wike factor been able to contribute to development? That's my question. Tinubu is a big factor in Nigerian politics. Has Tinubu's politics been able to make Lagos Dubai in the last 20 years? Is Lagos the place that you want to be? Have you gone to Dubai? Have you seen what is development? Have you been to even Bahrain? I refuse to accept Lagos as a symbol of development. I refuse it. I refuse to accept Ibadan as a symbol of development. Look at Ibadan. Ibadan is dirty. The transport system is terrible. Those are the symbols of underdevelopment. Even the Anambra State Peter Obi talks about, I refuse to accept it as development. I refuse. It's not the Anambra I drove through recently. It's another poor example of urban development. No Nigerian city or governor meets the standard of a Lee Kuan Yew. They are all poor leadership. I'm even asking, Is Buhari the worst president Nigeria will ever have? I refuse to accept parochialism as leadership. I refuse. Peter Obi needs to impress me. I refuse to be emotional about this campaign. And I talk to all of them. And Showore must raise his standard if he wants to be listened to. What? You construct 2 kilometers of road and you are screaming every day, development. People are on the road shouting, hey, hey. These guys, they travel. Why do they go to Turkey and France? Have you asked? Why is Atiku relaxing in the USA? Why is he not relaxing in his village in Adamawa? Their villages are nothing to write home about. Go and read the story of Al Maktoum, the leader of Dubai. You see inspirational leadership. Go and read about Xi Jinping. Go to China and see. These guys are here talking about development. You know, sometimes I don't feel like talking about them, but that's what you want to hear. Look at our politics. Look at the primary elections that we just concluded. Is that the kind of politics that will bring development? I was talking about Sheyi Makinde. He says Wike is his man. Is Wike your man? You're backing him?
Well, Wike is my man, yes. From what I've seen him do in Rivers State, I believe that with the support of everybody, he can be a good president for Nigeria. I mean, I told people, you may not like his style, you may think he's abrasive, you know, all of that, but those are things that we can work on. And in terms of somebody being strong, you can't take that away from him. As a matter of fact, that's what quite a number of people are trying to use against him. And they also try to use it against me, you know, contesting to be the governor of Oyo State. They said, oh, are we going to be able to control Sheyi, all of this? And I said to them that, look, I'm here to serve the good people of Oyo State. And it's been 3 years now, and I've been proven right, because for Oyo State, you know, we've put the people at the center of everything that we're doing. And people will say that, oh, we don't need strong men as a president of Nigeria. What we need is strong institutions. Okay, good. But if you have a strong man and you have strong institutions, it can only lead us to a better country.
Now that you've talked about the strong man, when I look at Sheyi Makinde in that Amotekun uniform, I said, okay, he looks like a strong man.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
You know, Governor Makinde is saying, look at what Wike has done in Rivers State. What has he done? Wike that can't pay pension. Rivers State that is littered with criminals, kidnappers. Okay, that's Buhari's fault, right? Potholes everywhere in Port Harcourt. With illegal refineries sponsored by politicians everywhere. And she is saying Wike has done well. Port Harcourt is in a mess. That used to be a garden city. Port Harcourt was beautiful in the past. Our leaders have messed up all our cities. I was looking at Ibadan picture of the 1960s, Dugbe. This Dugbe, that business district of 1960s. It is finer than what Dugbe is today. It's not Dugbe, it's in a mess. And Sheyi, look at that Dugbe road. Now, look at the traffic there. Look at the traffic in Dugbe, opposite post office. And our governor has refused to fix it. You know, I I keep saying go to IITA. Governor Makinde goes to IITA. Go to IITA. There is maintenance going on every day. You know, recently I took my students to IITA. I took them there to go and see how to run a country. You know, in IITA, it's so organized, the lawn, you know, you can't find a single pothole. There's somebody sweeping every day. There are engineers fixing the road every day. They are painting the walls every day. Here you construct a 10-kilometer road. Within the next 6 months, there are potholes everywhere. There's nobody to fill in the pothole. You want me to be singing for you, oh my governor, your excellencies. I refuse. They are not excellent. University students are home. It is the height of irresponsibility by any leadership to close down your universities. The private universities will soon have very low standard. I was in UCH recently. There was no light. There was no light. No light. Tinubu is back from France. Tinubu, go to Turkey. They should go and live there. Lagos is so beautiful. He can't treat himself in Lagos. Buhari loves Nigeria. He can't treat himself in Nigeria. He goes to London. What kind of love is that? In Abuja, there is prison break. Prison break for about 3-4 hours. And Buhari wants me to clap for him. They are all flying jets everywhere, wasting taxpayers' money. What a land. Somehow we have to make things right. I refuse to give up. I refuse. I must attain the country of my dream. I refuse to be frustrated. I must attain the country of my dream. I'm not saying the next generation. I have written it in my diary that I will attain the nation of my dream. I look up to no one, not even Peter Obi. I look up to myself. I build my hope. I don't know about you. Can you imagine Buhari disappointed me? If anybody told me that by 2022 Buhari will not fix electricity, I will fight. Buhari is the man that has disappointed me most in my life. Electricity, no light, in a country of more than 200 million people. No light, no power. I think APC should pay for it. You know, a party cannot come and impoverish a people and you say they should not pay for it. Like Jonathan and PDP impoverished in Nigeria, they paid for it and Buhari came in. APC should pay for it. No light. You can't travel. I want to renew my passport. It's a struggle. You can't get anything done. And you are coming into my inbox to tell me I'm anti-Tinubu. I will block you. I want to see Tinubu. I want to talk to him. I want to see him. You know, I want to talk to him. I would like to see Atiku. I'm not fighting them. I've already sent messages to Peter Obi. I want to see him. You know, I'm a stakeholder. I want to negotiate. Let's play this power politics. Somehow, something just needs to happen. You can't travel. I was traveling to Benin. You could see, I was just tense. At the point I just parked, I just said, Edmund, what's wrong with you? or die and I die. I stepped on it. I said, let's go. Anybody that comes, I hit the person and we move on. What is it? How can I be driving? I just said, let's go. I just locked up and I stepped on the accelerator and I moved. What is it? At the point, somebody just comes out, I just think it's a headsman. I say, hey, what is all this? To just go and say hello to my parents, the tension, but I defeated it. After 1 hour of that tension, I parked. I said, no, or die and I die. Let's move. It's my time to shine. It's about Wike. She is man. I'm looking forward to Wike screaming, she has betrayed me. Why does she like Wike so much? You want to know why? You want to know why? You remember Folani? At the time, Folani was Wike's paddy. When Folani became the governorship candidate of the PDP in 2015, he was Wike's man. Secondus was the deputy chairman of the PDP at the time. So something happened. Folani, Wike fell out. I remember, Folani stood with Modu Sheriff and Wike stood with the former governor of Kaduna State and the PDP. And the Supreme Court judgment favored the Wike faction. But before then, Wike was the one sponsoring Modu Sheriff. But Modu Sheriff is a man of... Wike cannot control Modu Sheriff. No way. Modu Sheriff is another terror on his own. Remember how he planted young boys that later became Boko Haram in Borno State? They used to call them Ekomok boys. He used them to win election, to defeat Malakachala. These boys later became Boko Haram, and they are all screaming now, terrorists, terrorists everywhere. I have come to speak to them this morning. So Wike, he knew he could not control Modu Sheriff, but he has already told his guys to back Modu Sheriff. All of a sudden, he pulled out. And some of them said, no, you can't do that. We should also learn to keep to our words. And somehow, Supreme Court judgment favored them. And that's how Folani lost out in the PDP. And Ajimobi consoled him. Remember, Folani is Ajimobi's cousin. So Ajimobi brought him into the APC. Mind you, Folani worked with Ajimobi to defeat Akala in 2011. You see how they operate? Folani wanted to be governor in 2011. He was the Senate leader. Akala wanted to run for a second term. Something happened. Folani was locked up in prison on suspicion of having a hand in the death of Eliwiomo. But the case was dismissed. He was just kept there so that he would miss the PDP primaries. And he missed it. So he could not run for, he could never even go back to the Senate. So he collaborated with Ajimobi to defeat Akala. So at some point, he also fell out with Ajimobi. Perhaps Ajimobi was not keeping to the terms of the deal. But they found a way around it and they made up. With Folani out of the PDP, Ladoja came in. But Wike cannot control Ladoja. He can't. Ladoja is Baba now. So Wike and Co were not comfortable with Ladoja's leadership of the party. And Ladoja was propping up Lalane as the governorship candidate of the PDP. Somehow, Seyi Makinde found his way around it and became Wike's man. Let's listen to Mulikat Akonde. She tells the story. Did you take Seyi Makinde to the national leaders of the party?
Yes, to some of them.
You introduced Seyi Makinde to Secondus and Wike?
Yes.
You did that?
Yes.
So you give Seyi Makinde the link to national PDP?
Yes, and I did a lot more, of which he knows. I did a lot more.
Did Ladoja blame you for your fate?
He did.
What did he tell you?
He was, he did not tell me directly, but to all those who were close to him, they said, Mulika is driving me out of PDP because we have, insisted that it has to be Sheyi Makinde. Senator Ladoja is someone I respect very well, and this is what they say, that in Yoruba, Omode Oki mo onje je komara lowo. This is the situation we're in right now, because if I had listened to a lot of people were against my support for him.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe they know him better than me.
You now know him?
Oh, yeah. I now know him.
Can you define him?
I can't. It's not in my... I know him. You see, all these things that have happened, you just bring out the lessons. It's just the lessons you have learned. It's not about me defining who she is. I cannot start defining him now. But I have learned a lot of lessons because I'm someone who is very open. I have the fear of God. I take things very easy. So I don't see people and begin to assume, oh, this person is a bad person. This person is going to stab me at the back. This person is going to... I don't begin to think that. So I can't define him, but I've learned some lessons. Going forward, I've learned some lessons.
Once beaten, twice shy.
Maybe 3 times now, who knows? I wish, I don't really know. You were even asking, did I take him to Wike and all that? Even after the election, we went together to Wike to say thank you. Because I told him we had to go and thank him.
Mm.
Yes, we went back to Port Harcourt.
So she has bitten the finger that fed him.
If you will say so, yeah.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
So you see how she became Wike's man? Like Obaseki went to say thank you. She also went to say thank you. One good turn deserves another. Now that Wike is losing his battles and becoming weaker, will Makinde betray him? Time will tell. But as Wike edges closer to the end of his tenure as governor, he should expect more betrayal, because his dominance is tied to the seat of power that afford him the opportunity to control huge resources from oil wealth that he uses to run his politics. Once that is gone, the test of his brilliance will be there for all to examine. As I look in Wike's eyes, do not accuse me of calling him a tyrant. Is he? Tyrants claim the highest wisdom and set out to make decisions for everyone without consultation. The best they do is to confide in the coterie of hangers-on who do their bidding sheepishly. The louder their voices become, the more vulnerable they become. These ones turn the entire resources of their states to pursuing self-glorification, even when it is clear to the ignorant that they lack the knowledge of progressive leadership. They rob the poor of their possessions and take away the virtues of the common good. They swear to deal mercilessly with those who resist their sole authority with unimaginable violence. They glorify bloodshed to strike fear into the hearts of perceived enemies, be they poor citizens or competitors. Their understanding of governance is ruthlessness. They are vicious and cruel in their mannerisms. He is an absolute ruler, always in search of tactics to destroy those standing on his way. That is a tyrant. All a tyrant sees are enemies and betrayals. They are paranoid. When a so-called democratic system harbors tyrants, that system is tyranny based on transactional and weaponization of elections. It is not democracy, but autocracy. They hardly notice their foolishness until their downfall comes, for they always fall like packs of cards. They use property and gifts to amass loyalty and sometimes make the masses abandon those who fight their causes, making them come to disastrous end. The lavish lifestyles of tyrants are clear. They squander the resources of the state. They do this to prove to have a reputation for generosity, to gain sympathy. Oh, he's a nice man. When the governor comes, he's sharing money. Everybody's singing, oh, yato, hey. They use generosity to make you poor. That's not to say to be generous is bad, but be generous with your money. Not the money of the state meant for education, meant for the construction of good roads. Look at our primary schools. You know, I went into some corners of Oyo State in recent time. Go to a primary school, a secondary school along Ibadan Express Road when you are driving in. You will weep. You will weep. Then these students will graduate from that school and go to a university, and you think, have you imagined we are producing first class every year, but we are not solving our problems? Have you asked why? We are producing professors every year. Have they solved any problems? Your educational system is too poor. The knowledge system is poor. It cannot lead to transformation. Tyrants impose new taxes and lay excessive burdens on the people. They injure many and reward few. They don't want to be seen as misers, and they impoverish the land by their frivolous antics. They are not prudent and will not understand why scarce resources deserved to be administered by persons that are miserly for they achieve great things. Perhaps that is why I look at Peter Obi sometimes and smile at him. Radio man, calm down. Calm down. Take it easy. What is it? Okay, I'm calm. Okay, let me take a rest. Bosun, the studio is in your hand. Play what you feel like playing.